Hey, Mel. Hello, everyone.
Hey guys, hey, how are you?
Hope all is well. How are you?
I am good. Um, of course, my kid missed the bus again this morning. But that's becoming normal. I'm actually trying to see if yep, we are live. So hey everybody,
Hello,
hey.
hello, hello.
So of course, with me and technology, everything that can go wrong will.
And
So
me, I just wait patiently.
So we're going to give everybody a minute. Go ahead and share this video, um, because we have a juicy topic that we're stopping in really quickly to talk
Yes,
about.
we do.
And so I'm gonna give you guys a minute to share. Missy, how's the week been?
Long and busy with a capital L and a capital B. Other than that, how was yours?
It's been good.
Good.
It's been good. So yeah, I'm ready for the weekend.
Girl, I know. I tell
Ready.
you what, this daylight savings time, by the time my body gets used to it, it'll be October and we'll be going back.
Listen, listen. It's messing me all the way
Girl,
up,
I know.
all the way up, all the way. So you want to go ahead and get started?
Hey, I am ready. I am following your lead, Mel.
Ha 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 ha. Okay. So on our last podcast episode, we talked about this topic of can girlfriends have the tough conversations? Can we have the tough conversations? And I posed that question on on my personal site because I just wanted to see what other people had to say.
Hmm.
Do we think that girlfriends can have the tough conversations? And so some of the responses were, um, yes, we can have the hard conversations, but we can have the hard conversations. However, if it doesn't go well, then I'll just drop it. And then one of the other comments that I really liked, um, was by Alma, and she said it depends on which girlfriend it is.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, oh, now that is interesting.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what's your take?
Wow. Ah, you know what? I almost have to side with Alma.
Okay.
I think it depends. Excuse me. It depends on, I do believe, the subject
Mm-hmm.
and also the girlfriend. Because I think there's some individuals that you can have a text conversation and know how to keep that tone in a text. I also think that you can have a phone call conversation and you
Mm-hmm.
also know how to keep the flow and the tone of that conversation. But I also think that there are some that you might have to talk to face. But
Okay,
I
so
think
you're
when it go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, so you're saying you think you can have hard conversations with some via phone, but then with
Hmm.
some girlfriends you would have to be in person.
In person. Yeah. And I think it depends on the type or the subject matter of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So to give some backstory, to give some to give some backstory, if you have not watched the last podcast, please make sure you go back and do so.
Please.
Um, if you need to know how to find the podcast, just head over to head to our page, trashed it, and click on the link in the bio, okay, or just click on our link tree, and you can watch it any way you want to. If you want to listen to it on Apple or Google Stitcher, you can do that. However, if you want to watch it in live and living color, you can do that on YouTube.
Yeah.
So the reality was okay, so if you don't know, Missy and I, we're not just business partners, but we're like friends in real life,
Yeah.
right? And so during this past month, it's been very, very busy for both of us.
Very busy.
Very, very busy. And so so Missy, this is when I'm gonna just throw you under the bus. So
Ah,
Missy was feeling some type of way. Like
I
let's
was.
let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Missy was feeling a way because what was it? Well, I wasn't responding. Well, no, I never respond in a timely manner. So it wasn't that, but I guess there was something that was just kind of slightly off.
Yes. And so I felt that we were off in something and I couldn't put my finger on. But again, I knew we were busy, but that was not an excuse for me, really for even for both of us, because we knew going in what this required. We knew what we both had prior to Trashed It, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you weren't really there
Mm-hmm.
as I would have liked for you to have been there
Uh-huh.
as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm feeling some kind of way.
Feeling some kind of way. Feeling a way.
I was. It came off in my text messages too.
Yeah, y'all. So she was being like real short with me in her text messages.
How
So
do you know I wasn't busy when you was texting me? And I could have just said, "Okay,
because that's not how you
busy, thank
roll.
you."
That's not how you roll.
I'm gonna switch it up.
No, no, no. Because see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you really know your girlfriends,
Hmm. You're
you
right.
know you know when something is off because you know how they move.
Uh huh.
So I know
Excuse
I
me.
know how you move. I know how you operate. I know that you are the early bird. Hey Tasha. I know
Right.
you're the early I know you're the early bird. I know if I send you a text, you are immediately
You see the
going
bubbles moving.
right. Like you're immediately going to respond.
Uh huh.
If I call you or if we're on the phone, you we both like to talk, but
Hmm.
I do think you have me beat in this area. So I know if you're giving me short
Uh
answers,
huh.
right? And so Missy felt a way,
Slide it just a bit to the left.
and y'all, and then cause see, I know none of you have ever done this with your girlfriends. She saw me posting and thought and thought it had to do with her.
No, no, not thought. I had the nerve. Yes, I had the nerve to think that it had something to do with us.
Yes, yes. So we're posing this question: can you have tough conversations
Mhm.
with your girlfriends?
Yeah.
And to keep it completely 100,
Oh gosh.
we were supposed to be recording. We were supposed to be recording
Yeah.
our next podcast. We couldn't do it because we spent an hour and a half having the tough conversation when we were
Mhm.
supposed to be recording the
Two
podcast.
hours. It was a 2 hour conversation,
Yes.
and it was
Yes.
late when we got off.
Yes. But do you guys think can you have those tough conversations? Um I think we're older,
Yeah.
right? We're
Exactly.
more mature, and at this point at this point in the game, we're able to say I think we're able to say, what it is, right?
Exactly.
And I'm the one of the two of us. I don't like any elephant in any room. So I'm the one- so I'm the one that will literally just say, "Hey, what's up?"
Hmm. And I'm
You
like, what are
know,
you talking about?
like
And
you,
I think this is
like you
probably
acting funny. What's up?
like, no. And I think this is probably what the second time that we've had to have
I come to Jesus.
conversations. Because I think the first time you contacted me, like, hey, what's up? Like, what are you talking about? And I think because at that time I was busy or something was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, girl, no, no, I know what it was. You sent me a text and it took forever for me to respond back. And
Mm-hmm.
anyone, like you stated, that knows me knows that when you send me a text, like I'll respond back immediately. But
Right.
I think this particular day, I was for real busy. And I
Right.
just didn't get to it. And it probably took me like what, maybe an hour or two. And you FaceTimed me. I'm like, hey girl, what's up? And you were like, are we good? I'm like, what are you talking about? But like you stated, the
I
way
like
I
no
move,
elephants.
I'm gonna switch it up tomorrow.
I
Hmm.
like no elephants, but I know in that instance, that first time, I had gotten in my head, right?
Hmm.
Because you didn't respond, and the particular topic we were discussing via text. Um, I think we were trying to figure out an interview. We were trying to figure out
Yeah.
something, and it wasn't clear.
Uh
It
huh.
wasn't clear. Hey, Sarinthia, it wasn't clear how or who was supposed to do what,
Hmm.
right? And so you didn't respond until the evening, and when you did respond, your response threw me completely off,
Uh huh.
and I thought, oh, she got a problem. She's feeling a type way. And you're right. I FaceTime because
You did.
again, rule of thumb. Even when I'm talking to um, people in therapy, we don't have hard conversations via text
Hmm.
message,
Yeah.
right? That is absolutely
Yeah.
rule of thumb for me.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in leaving an elephant in any room.
In the
So if
room.
I
Exactly.
if I believe there's an elephant, best believe I'm coming for the elephant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas my counterpart, she may walk around the elephant, a few times. She might dance around it.
Maybe
Uh,
once or twice.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So okay, I was reading the comments. So
Yes. So
Tasha
Tasha,
said,
yeah, she made a good point, and I don't mean
"There's
to
some
that
people I can't."
unrealistic expectation.
Yeah. However, determined that I have some. Oh, oh, oh. Now that's a good point.
Hmm.
That's a really good point. So Tasha said, however, I have determined that I have unrealistic expectations of people I have classified as a good friend. So are we saying it matters? Like maybe the depth of the relationship?
I think it does matter. I think it
Yeah.
does. I think it truly matters because I think that you know how to handle that person.
Right.
And our mom manager just logged in to watch us. Hello there, mom
Hey,
manager.
Miss
Hi, mama.
Dolores.
Hey, Cassandra, and hey, I think Cherish is still on here. I failed to say hello to Cherish. Thank you so
Um,
much for joining, ladies.
and hey, Kim.
And Kim, come through with the
Yay,
heart,
yay,
mama.
yay. Ah, your mama is on here with the hearts. I am
Girl,
tickled.
yes, come through, Dolores.
I am tickled. Listen, look, let's put her up on the screen.
Yes, that's our mom manager.
So, so yeah. Um, I agree, right?
Hey,
When we
Jackie.
when we understand maybe the relationship dynamics
Mm-hmm.
with individuals, I think sometimes that does affect how we pivot, how we move.
I think it does.
Um, but I also know I have lost some really good friends along the way
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because we weren't able to deal with. the elephants in the room, right? Whether it was maybe business or just friendship or growing in different directions,
Mm, that
you know.
part.
Yeah, and we just weren't able to have
Mhm.
those conversations.
Yeah.
And I've lost some really good friends
Mhm.
along the way.
Yeah.
Um, just because we were too stubborn.
Mhm.
We didn't know how to, I don't think we knew how to express our emotions.
Mhm.
Didn't know how to express what we need. We knew that something was off,
Yeah.
but weren't able to, didn't really have the language to really discuss it
Mhm.
and talk about it.
Yeah.
So, I think sometimes we can lose some really good relationships over things that are not even that major.
And that is so true. And I was going to ask you, actually, I'm going to make a comment, and then I was going to ask you, because I do believe that when we both were having this conversation, and I think I stated to you that I'm so glad that it happened early on,
Mhm.
as opposed to what, 5.5 years together in this business game. And you know, at that time, now time is involved, money's involved, all things according to the business is involved, and
Right.
you part ways, and not on a good note. And so
Right.
at least I think we have identified, and it's life,
Mhm.
we both have identified, I do believe, I think, our strengths and our weaknesses
Mhm.
when it comes to this. Because the truth be taken, you're at a season in your life where you're married and I'm not.
Mhm. Girl, yeah.
You still have kids at home. I don't.
Mhm.
So your responsibilities to your household is much different than my responsibilities to my household outside of paying my bills.
Right. Right.
And that was another thing, I think, that we talked about. And
Mhm.
that was probably one that I was probably most sensitive to, because I did not want to be disrespectful.
Right.
And I get it. I've been a wife
Mhm.
before.
Mhm.
And I get that line of not wanting to cross boundaries with, well, this is, my business girlfriend, this is my sister friend, but she's also someone's wife. She's also
Mhm.
a mom that has to check homework. And all I need to do is check my Facebook account and cook dinner. You know what I mean? And cook dinner. So I'm at a
That's why
different
you're up at
season
the
in my
crack of
life.
dawn on social media.
What'd you say?
I said that's why you're up at the crack of dawn on social media.
Yes, because I have no responsibilities.
But do you think sometimes we're in our own heads though, right? Because
Hmm.
there have been times when you said, "Oh, well, I didn't want to call, or I was just trying to text because I know
Yeah.
you guys are busy, or I
Hmm.
didn't want to interrupt dinner."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hey, if I'm busy, I know how to not answer the phone,
I know. And
or I
that's,
know,
yeah.
yeah." So I think sometimes we get in our own way.
Hmm. And then I throw back at you. Well, that's why Paul said it's better. Had you listened to Paul, we would not have been having these problems. But I mean, I know we joke about it, but I think when I do that, it's just out of respect, because it's a thin, it can be a thin line.
Mhm.
It can be a thin line. And so I think for me, being very mindful of that particular area. I love Pat dearly. He's our man manager and he's my friend, but I also respect him as your husband.
Right.
And so I think a lot of times, I think those are the tough conversations when girlfriends are together. I think it would be no different if we weren't business partners, but if
Mhm.
we lived in the same area or whatever the case may be, and we hung out all the time.
Mhm.
And so again, I think it's that conversation. I think it's easier for us to have the business aspect conversations of it, but
Mhm.
a little hard for when you start mixing the business in with the personal, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But again, I'm just always wanting to be mindful, and just not crossing those lines. And I think what the second time we had it was just about, some situations that came up, some plans were diverted to the
Uh-huh.
left, and
Uh-huh.
I was being a Debbie Downer. and a petty panina.
But you didn't want to tell me that you was being petty,
I
right?
did not.
But because I know how you move,
You don't
I
know me
it
that
was
well.
it was easy to pick up on.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, so let's see. Life After Love, LLC. Hey girl, hey. She said, I love friends that are respectful to whatever space we're in. Right.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
agree.
Mhm.
But I do also think sometimes we are so um apt to make these assumptions,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
sometimes we really do miss it. Or sometimes it's not even personal, right? And this is not geared towards us,
Mhm.
but in girlfriend relationships, sometimes um due to just life circumstances, things fall off or
Yeah.
things shift and things change. But when we don't have those conversations, you we leave the relationships thinking it was
Absolutely.
something personal
And it wasn't.
at all, at all, at all.
Do you
Um,
think seasons play a lot in it? You know, the maturity level of, because of course, as you get older, your taste changes, your
mhm.
seasons change, everything changes. At least it should change. I'm gonna
Right,
put that
right.
disclaimer in there. It should change, right? And do you think, of course, with age comes wisdom? Do you think that has a lot to do with it as well?
Well, I would like to think that with age comes
Hmm.
wisdom. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know that that's always the case.
Hmm.
I think that's definitely what we hope for. And I will say, I don't think I don't think me today
Hmm.
would have been a good fit for us to be anything other than friends
Hmm.
3 4 years ago,
Yeah.
right? But because I've done, my own
Hmm.
soul work, so to say,
Hmm.
it's easier now for me to reflect inwardly, right?
Yes.
Instead of being easily offended.
Hmm.
Um, and it's easy for me to hear, actually, when, say, I am doing something wrong, or when there is maybe something that my friend doesn't like, or that hurt my friend's feelings or whatever. And I think now I'm able to hear and receive that in a way in which I'm really trying to understand, and I'm not as easily offended.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And I think what we've been friends for
Shoot.
6,
Yeah, 6 7 years.
7 years. Um, but probably what, the last two, maybe, we've truly formed
Mm-hmm.
in our friendship. And I
Yeah.
think there's a difference. So, and I think again, it goes back to the seasons.
Right. I agree.
Hmm.
um I think with that maturity has come the ability to be open, to be transparent, and like I was saying earlier, being aware of your girlfriends, being
Absolutely.
aware of the space.
Hmm.
And I say it all the time: being mindful, being dialectical, being open, being open minded,
Hmm.
rather, in understanding that there's more than one perception to any given situation, and keeping that in mind, um, being able to respect those differences and respect those spaces
Hmm.
without offense, you know?
Hmm. I'm going back to Tasha's statement, that unrealistic expectation. How many times have we put expectations on individuals when they don't even put expectations on not only themselves but us as a unit? And of course, when I say us as a unit, it's
Mhm.
the relationship, the friendship.
Hmm.
And I think that's the part that we can't get back, is that lost time.
That's true. But do you think maybe sometimes we use the word friend too loosely?
Just like we use the word love too loosely.
Yeah.
hmm I do. I think we use it too loosely. And I think, because you know what, at the end of the day, when we're little girls, we want to be everyone's friend.
Hmm.
Unicorns, rainbows, and roses, right? That's what we want.
Hmm.
Um, and then when we grow up, we realize that it's not unicorns, rainbows, and
Right.
roses. Oh, I
Right.
just seen that too.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, Miss Sandifer. There are seasonal friendships. Ooh.
Wow. That was tough.
Yeah, that is.
hmm
And isn't it sad to find out that the season for that particular friendship is over during a disagreement or
Yeah.
during those moments, as Latasha said, when an expectation is not met or
That
an
is true.
unrealistic. You find out that your expectation is unrealistic. And it's not that maybe it's always been unrealistic, but in that season,
Yeah.
because maybe you've changed.
Yeah. That's the hard part. And I think the one thing, even, and I'll take it a step further, especially as women, I think the one thing that we do not take the time to do when that does happen is that we don't take time to grieve,
Right.
because it's a loss of a relationship,
Hmm.
it's a connection, and I think we have to stop realizing that. Even I think I hear a lot of people say, well, I don't grieve friendships. No, you have to grieve a loss.
Yeah.
And that's the part I think that we don't truly understand. Grieving is more than just losing someone to death.
Hmm.
I mean, here it is. Kids are getting ready to graduate from college. I mean, excuse me, from high school in what, 6 to 7 weeks, depends on where you live. As mothers, we're grieving that part that, you know what, oh my goodness, my baby is now leaving high school, getting ready to start life, whether it's college, military, whatever the case may be. And grieving, it's still a process. It's still a process of what we have to do. And I just don't think that we truly tap into that grieving part of losing a friendship, because
Right.
it's tough.
Right. It is. It
It's
is.
hard.
Hmm. Hmm. And I think especially when as I was saying earlier, sometimes we lose friendships because we just weren't mature enough to have the real conversations.
hmm
You
hmm
know, um, I've in memory, I can think of two very specific relationships I lost
hmm
because we were younger and we weren't able to have the conversations we needed to have.
hmm
And over time, the divide just got wider and
Yeah.
wider and wider, right? Um, but with both of those individuals, it's been within the past year or so
hmm
that I reached out to both of them to apologize
Oh wow.
because I didn't have the language then.
Mm. Oh, that part.
Yeah, I didn't have the language to even know what was wrong.
hmm
But when we say grieving, oh my gosh, these two friendships were two I absolutely agree. No, it's been at least it's been three, but relationships that I really grieved losing because I know we were truly friends and we got to an impasse. And because during those impasse moments, we were switching lanes, right? Like we were switching seasons and we could not find our way back.
Wait. Yeah. Yeah.
And I grieved those friendships for
hmm
years. Um and I think sometimes we aren't willing to see the part we play.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. Yeah.
And I know with those three in particular, I had to really own I had to really own me.
Mhm.
And I had to own the fact that I wasn't a good friend in those moments.
Mhm.
I didn't know how to
How to
express
be,
what was
yeah.
changing.
Mhm.
I didn't know how to express what I was really upset about. Um, and I looked outwardly at everything. Everything was everybody else's fault,
But yours, yeah.
but mine,
Mhm.
but mine. And so I had to kind of go back and make it right.
I am really glad that I think a that you called out the elephant
Yeah, girl, I
in the
don't play
room.
games.
But again, we got past it, and we
Mhm.
made sure we got, because this is one thing I said: we won't go to, and not being disrespectful when I say this, or we would not go to bed angry,
Yeah, right.
because the one thing we always say, I love you too,
Mhm.
or I love you back,
Mhm.
and that never go to bed angry just does not apply to married couples or to couples, period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good point. That is
And
a really good
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Really good point. And I think if there's nothing else that COVID has taught us, it's that time and seasons,
Honey, time
every
waits on nobody.
yeah, everything is temporary.
It
Every
is.
things change in an instant.
I mean, within a blink of an eye.
Yeah. So it's like, do you really want to waste your time being upset with a good girlfriend over you probably don't even remember what?
Wow. Miss Sandifer made a very, oh, wow. I know now that because I suck at communicating, I would just walk away and internalize the loss. And I now realize that it's okay to speak what I feel. And you
Absolutely.
know what's crazy? Because she and I are in the same age category, and that's not putting her out there because she put her age in the chat. But I think again, it goes back to that season. Like we both are in our 50s.
Hmm.
And I think realizing that it's okay to say what we feel.
Hmm.
We know we have a voice. And I
Right.
think now we are no longer in that season of, I just want to be my friend. I don't want, I want somebody to go to the movies with, or go shopping
Hmm.
with, or go out to dinner with, and we're friends. No, we're doing life.
Hmm.
And again, now that you talk about seasons change, when you realize that, you know what, it's okay for me to speak up what
Right.
you feel.
But look at what she said though. Hold on. Um, she said I would just walk away
Okay, mm-hmm, and
and
internalize.
internalize the loss.
Mm-hmm,
To see that and think of how many times have we been talking to someone, you've been talking to a girlfriend, or you've been talking to
mm-hmm.
someone, and they say something to the effect of, well, no, it's good, oh, it just is what it is.
Yes. Oh, we all right. No,
or
we're
or,
not.
or like,
Yeah.
on to the next.
Mhm. And
quick
it's
quick to throw away to We're quick to throw a friendship away. And it's like Miss Sandifer said, it's because we don't know how to communicate.
exactly.
And because we and okay, I guess because this is what I do for a living,
Uh huh.
the whole communication piece is a thorn in my side,
Yeah.
right? But because we don't know how to put our emotions with our needs,
Mm-hmm.
we get easily frustrated. And instead of taking the time and trying to really figure it out and figure out, like, why am I disappointed in this
Exactly.
friend, or why am I hurt, or what am I really feeling,
Mm-hmm.
we get frustrated and we just say, you know what, forget it.
Forget it.
I'm good. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need friends.
Yeah.
I need me and Jesus. That's
Yeah.
the kind of foolishness we say.
And you're right.
I got
You're
me and
right.
God.
You're right. You are
That is
so right. I remember, and it's funny that she talks about the internalizing the loss. I remember when my father passed away 10 years ago. My best sister girlfriend in Virginia. We've been friends for 30 years.
Mhm.
I remember she called me. So dad had been gone at this time for a week, and she called me to check on me. And this is what I did because I was so in my feelings. And she was like, "Hey, I'm calling to check on you." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Well, Melissa, what's wrong?" And this is exactly what I said. Girl, I look back on it now like that was so wrong. I
Mhm.
said, "You don't even know how I feel. Your daddy is still alive." And she's like, "You know what? I'm gonna let you have that, and I'll talk to you later." And me thinking that I just buried my dad, like, you should come and be running after me, to make sure that I'm okay. We didn't talk for about 9 months.
Oh wow.
And I picked up the phone and I called her, and she answered the phone. And I said, "I am so sorry for what I said." And this is what she said. She said, "I knew it wasn't you, but I needed you to grieve, to have that space. And I had to step out of the way."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And she was able to understand where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that is sometimes what we miss, right? Because we're
Yes.
only looking at things from our lens. We're
Mm-hmm.
only seeing it from our perspective. And
Yeah.
in my perspective, you hurt my feelings
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with no thought of anyone else's perception,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, Miss Sandifer, she said she used to say that the whole me and Jesus.
Jesus gonna make it.
Let's see. Okay. So Miss Jackie said, I totally agree with both of you. Some relationships can be due to seasonal and some relationships can end because of lack of maturity. I've had two good girlfriends and one was due to seasonal and I didn't feel I needed to grieve that one. Um
Wow.
wow. I didn't feel like I needed to grieve that one. Let's see. I was trying to see the rest of it. Didn't feel like I needed to grieve that one. I lost where I was because it was seasonal. Um, because we didn't talk about it. I left that relationship feeling like I had the right to feel the way I did. Now that I look back and feel sorry that I didn't finish. Yeah, yeah,
Felt I could have done better and reached out.
yeah.
Yeah.
But to Jackie, to her point, sometimes we do. Sometimes it takes time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes time. It takes us being able to get out of our own way. It takes our own growth and our
Yeah.
own maturity to really see inwardly,
Mm-hmm.
um, to then go back and fix it. Like I said, I have three really, really deep friendships I lost.
Mm-hmm.
And it took, I know it probably took 10 years. I've been married almost 15 years. And I know one of these friendships, two of these friendships, um, were lost within the first 5 years of
Oh
being
wow.
married,
Of
right?
being
So
married.
this is at least 10 year span,
Mm-hmm.
at least, of no communication, of honestly, of me seeing them on social media and kind of having that sad moment of like,
Oh
man,
wow.
I
Yeah.
really miss my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And there were even times when my husband would say, well, have you reached out? No.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. You're right. Mm-hmm.
It's a two-way street. If
Mm-hmm.
they
They
want
have my number. They know where I'm at.
if they want to talk to me, they know how to
Yeah.
reach me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think as we grow and as we mature, we realize that that reconciliation it's for you. Like that's for me.
It is.
We may never have the same relationship,
Mm-hmm.
or it could completely rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point in my life, I don't want it to be because I didn't try. When
Exactly.
I realized that it was due to my lack
Mm-hmm.
of maturity.
Well, you know what? We all need closure in something, and that's that part.
Right.
and needing that closure. These have truly been some wonderful and great comments. Oh, ladies, we truly appreciate
Yes.
the feedback and just the interaction,
Yeah.
because this is what it's about.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
again, with Miss Sandifer, it was me and Jesus. We were gonna make it all the time, and we've done that. And I think we use that
That's
as
a
a
good
cop out.
compliment. Ah,
See, we in sync. What?
I was thinking the same thing. We do because it's so much
Because
easier.
it's a safe word.
Hmm.
It's a safe place.
Hmm.
But I told somebody today, when are we going to stop manipulating people with God?
Oh, okay. See, you're turning over a whole can of worms.
I think that'll be our next pop in.
That
Mm-hmm.
that is interesting.
Because nobody wants to talk about that.
Hmm.
We manipulate. We do it as parents.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, we do. We absolutely do.
But anywho,
Yeah.
that's another subject for another day.
So yeah.
Make sure you have your
So guys,
notification set for that one.
right. So guys, do you have any questions? Any questions before we get off for tonight? Any questions you guys want to ask?
Yes.
Because we, Miss Stand, she said, my what did you say? My theme song is, woo,
Come through.
you
Come
can have
through,
the
Miss
song.
Karen.
Listen,
Yes.
listen. I think we have all used that one.
Hmm.
We have all used that one. Just just manipulating the situation. The whole world. Just give me Jesus.
Yes.
So, all right. So I'm going to take it that there are no questions.
I don't think
So
there is. I've
thank you.
enjoyed this. I've
I
enjoyed
know.
the ones just interacting and coming on and supporting us.
I know. So we definitely appreciate it. Make sure you have your notifications and your subscriptions. Yes, please, 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 please
Please,
go
please.
support the podcast. I had a friend that said, "Hey, you need to you should just ask for what you want." So
Absolutely.
listen, we want you to follow.
Yes, we do.
We want to get to 10,000 likes, right?
Yes, we do.
These are things we want, these are
Mhm.
things we need. So we know that you guys are listening. We appreciate it.
We
And
do. We
make
do.
sure
We
that
have
you
some
can,
good things in the works for you ladies coming
yeah.
up. So you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Your girlfriends don't want to miss it. Your moms, your nieces, your next door neighbor, whomever. We don't want you to miss it because this is that year of
Right,
we got some good things in the works for you ladies.
right, right.
Well, Mel, I
I
always appreciate you calling out the elephant in the room. Switch up though.
sometimes I think it's a blessing and a curse because now I just see I can see an elephant in the corner and I'm like, nope, we will not do this. So how about we have this conversation?
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. No one word text messages, people. Please don't switch them up because Mel knows that when I hit K and TU,
She should expect a phone call
mm-hmm. Oh,
very
I'm
shortly.
good.
Very shortly, she will receive a phone
Oh,
call.
but I love the transparency though. That's what trash it is about.
Yeah, like, okay, how's your day going?
All right,
Really
it's good
was
at
short.
you.
You good?
Ask those questions.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ask
that's
those
yeah.
questions.
Don't be a
Hmm.
do not be afraid to challenge your friends with what you see. Right?
Absolutely.
Like if you know things are off, then have the conversation.
Hmm. That's right.
And have the conversations from an open mind,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? And being open to listening and just trying to understand. But
Absolutely.
but don't lose your friendships. If you Even if you're not listening to this now and you are listening to this later, if you don't remember anything else we've talked about, remember this. Let this be your last day.
I
As my daddy would say,
was trying to say that. Yes.
we're from the country. Let this be your last day. Him. That's what he would say. Him. Let this be your last day taking for granted that you have tomorrow, that you
Yeah.
have next week, that you have next year to reconnect and reconcile relationships that you know you need to reconcile, that you know you need to fix.
Exactly.
Let this be your last day of saying, well, if they wanted to fix it, they would come and find me or they would come and
Oh,
talk to me.
exactly.
No, it's not even about that. We're all
That's
big
true.
girls now.
Yeah.
This is the big girl club.
Hmm.
And in the big girl club, we can talk about the elephant. We can own our own responses. We can
That's
own our
true.
own actions, and we can be accountable.
But did you see what Jackie said? I'm
She said,
good.
"Ah,
I'm good.
oh, Father." Right, right. Jacob, like, it'll be me and Jesus over here.
Jesus, grace, and coffee.
Uh-huh. All right, guys. I think I think we are done for tonight.
I think
But
we are.
yeah, uh, absolutely. Listen, y'all. Yes, Miss.
Yes.
We want you to
Yes.
communicate. That's what we want you to do. We want everybody to put their big girl panties on.
Yes.
We're gonna. This is look. This is the year of big girl panties. How about
It
that?
is. It is. It is. We're gonna do this.
Yes.
We're going to, and you know what? We're gonna do it together.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what it's about.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you all so much. Kim, thank you.
All right, guys. So have a great rest of the week. If you've not caught up on the podcast, make sure you get caught up, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.